Hello, I'm filmmaker Archie Wright.
Hello, I'm ball painter Tim Baker.
And this is the Shrove Tide Podcast Special.
They all play hard, they all play well, but there's always stories to be told. That is why I have the great honor to say, Archie Wright and Tim Baker, are you ready for the stories? Who will the guest be today? When the ball is robbed in red, white and blue, and the Englishman tries his best, the players get stories, which is why we are here. Archie Wright and Tim Baker. Who is the guest today?
So, when it was 2003, you helped lift up the Prince of Wales. Was there any arguments about who was going to do that, or was it always going to be you to do it?
No, it was always going to be me and Harry because it's something that we did in previous years. So the committee just decided to let it follow on as normal. So we took up the offer.
Yeah.
So, Doug, your surname gives you away that you come from a massive Shrove Tiding family. I mean, the Souters, as a clan, have gold more balls than anybody in existence as a family. Yeah. And it's kind of weird, really, that you're a Souter but an Uppard. Yeah. I'm a Burton and a Downard, but in actual facts, flip reverse it, 150 years, the Burtons and the Souters were deadly enemies at Shrove Tide, wasn't they? How does it feel to be part of that wonderful Shrove Tiding clan?
It's a lovely thought that my family did all that for Shrove Tide. Actually, my grandfather did even more. He had 13 summonses.
Wow.
In the late 1890s. So he was determined.
I'll say, so he's willing to go to prison to keep playing Shrove Tide.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Get rid of the fines and paying them and going back for more.
Going back for more, that's the way we like it. So, going back to that, obviously, your dad, Sam Souter, was a big Shrove Tider, wasn't he?
Yes,
how many balls did he goal?
He goaled 3 altogether.
And sadly, you're not in possession of any of them now, are you?
No, that's a big bone of contention, I'm afraid.
It's a shame when balls get split up like that.
It is. In my thoughts, this should be with the family and not with people not connected with the family.
Yes, I agree with you, Doug.
So your sister was the second person to go to Shrove Tide ball. So how does that feel?
It feels quite good, really, because I've never had an issue with women participating in Shrove Tide. I think we've probably missed the chance with 1 or 2 ladies to actually chuck the ball up, which to me would have been nice because they support the game, and so why not? But my sister, when she goaled, it was only 11, and it's something that she, how can I put it, wasn't proud of because she didn't think that women should be participating, and she was sort of made to do it because of what happened the day before at Thurston.
Yeah.
And the Downers wanted to even things up.
So in other words then, Doug, I think the story goes she was actually just past the ball to goal, wasn't she?
That's right. She was at the goal just standing watching, and my father came in with the ball with somebody else.
Albert Rowe, I think.
Albert Rowe, yeah, I think that was it. And father decided he would get his own back on the upwards, give it to my sister, who goaled it.
Now, I don't know if this is right, Doug. Maybe you could clear this up. But I know it's right, but maybe you can give us your input on it. I spoke to your sister many, many years ago, and one of the things she was a little bit annoyed about as well, that after she'd goaled the ball, she was never ever given the ball.
No, even Father didn't see the ball after that day. We don't really know what happened to it without it was given to somebody. But I know Father said it was never in his possession after that.
Maybe that was 1943.
Yeah.
So basically, in that sense, then what the rules were basically broken about. If you get to goal it, then you get to keep it. That never went ahead.
Well, no, it didn't. She wasn't, like I said, she wasn't bothered because she didn't think it was a women's game. She was more into tennis. So it's sad. I mean, it's sad for us that we aren't in possession of that ball because it is a unique situation.
So do you not know where it is now then?
No, not the faintest. And I think Tim's tried to locate it, and I don't know if he's had any success or not.
Actually, I have, and I've saved this up to tell you. I can't find it, but I know where it ended up. The ball was actually given to Albert Rowe because Albert and your dad were friends, I believe. And I looked through Jack Smith's diary, and in 1958, Albert had possession of that ball and he was asked to sell it to Jack Smith but wouldn't. Sadly, upon Albert's death, the ball has now gone missing again. So we don't know where it is, but we do know what happened. And I believe the story was your dad was actually giving Albert the ball to score because they played together. And because of, you rightly said, what happened at Sturston the day before, the two of them came up to the conclusion that Doris would goal the ball, but Albert would keep it. So that might just add a little bit of history to it, if nothing else. Yeah. But we can't find it no more, though, unfortunately. No. It is still gone missing.
No, it's unfortunate, really, that nobody knows where it is. It would have been a lovely ball to have possession of now, but that's the way Shrove Tide goes sometimes.
Absolutely, Doug, you got it.
Did you ever play with any of the legends, like Don Lowndes and Jimmy Grant and all them?
Yes, the likes of Don Lowndes and Guy Harrison were coming to the end of their playing days when I started. The Grants were like, if you like, in the middle of it when I played in the early years. But there was an incident with Guy. I was only about 15 when I went in the hug and grabbed the ball, and Guy was in there and he said, "I think you better let that go." He says, "I don't usually hit young blokes," he says, "but knowing your dad, I wouldn't hit you in any rate." He says, "So just let the ball go and I'll take it." And I'll always remember that with Guy.
So, Doug, what's your, not even playing, just as a young lad, what's your earliest memory of Shrove Tide?
Really, the earliest is when Ray Storer scored his first ball. Was it in, I don't know, 68 or something like
His
that?
first one, I think, was 67. You were near.
67, yeah. Yeah, and I was there then, and that's when I really realised what was it all about.
Right. So a follow-on question from that, which would be interesting because we haven't touched on this, have we, Archie? Did you witness the game on the Wreck in 68 when there was foot and mouth? And can you tell us anything about that?
I did, yes. It was quite a good afternoon's entertainment. Although, I mean, the ball was scored many, many times because it was only played between the two football goals.
Did you have a play?
Yeah, I had a play, yeah, and sort of grabbed hold of it. I mean, the younger people did get chance in that because the older ones just looked on and with the thought, we're not joining in with that.
Yeah.
But I mean, Frankie Mitchell, I think, goaled the ball and could have kept it, but he gave it to be played again.
Played again, yeah. Brilliant.
So But it was good for the younger
How
ones.
did you know that was happening? Because I don't think it wasn't publicised. Was it just like word of mouth?
It was word of mouth that something was going to happen on the recreation ground, and we all attended.
Piled up and had a look.
Yeah. So,
Brilliant.
I'm going to touch back onto 2003 when the Prince of Wales came. Well, how nerve-wracking was it about trying to lift him up?
it was very nerve-wracking because actually it's probably the only person that me and Harry have ever lifted that we nearly dropped.
Numbing out.
It was, I mean, we were full of nerves in any rate, but I went to lift him and Harry wasn't quite in synchro with me and was just the odd second behind, and he tilted slightly before Harry realised and was able to pick him up as well. But he
Do you
needed...
think the Prince liked being lifted up?
Yeah, he enjoyed it. The only thing he said to me was that he was due to have a hernia operation on the following Wednesday, and would we not damage him anymore? And it was probably the first time that anybody knew that he was going to have an hernia operation. So we tried to be very gentle.
You know, Doug, to me, obviously, being a lot older than Archie, you are a Shrove Tide legendary player. You've always been in it. You've always played. You've been a good player. Can you give us any... Well, first of all, did you ever think you would goal a ball? And can you just tell us about how you goaled this lovely one here?
I always thought that I would goal one because I was quite fit when I was younger. And if you like, I could run and handle myself as well. So I was ideal for Shrove Tide. And when I goaled this, the ball had only been up an hour, and it had gone straight from the Shawcroft over to the fish pond meadow and went in the river for a few minutes, then came out, then went back in the river. And then about 3 o'clock, I managed to get it and went over the river up to the grammar school fields and then to the usual place, the Seven Arches, and then over by the catch. But we did meet slight opposition at the catch, who said, "You're a downer, you're not having it." But we overcame that and carried on towards Sturston. And it was quite easy actually at Sturston because most folk, knowing that I'd got it, had gone to Clifton.
Aye.
And thinking that that's where I would head. But
I mean, you've never made any secret, Doug, of the fact that you were a downard and then goaled it at Sturston and became an uppard. Would you like to share with us your reasons for that?
there's two reasons really. My mother was a uppard, and when I left the house that day, she said, "Score one for me."
Right.
But the biggest thing was the balls that my father had scored, he couldn't get back. And we knew that two of them were with members of the family up at Townhead Cottage. And my father had been the day before to try and get the one back that his father had thrown up.
Yeah,
And
31, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. And they refused and said, "They're not here." Well, we knew they were there. And I got into such a, if you like, state over the matter that I thought, I know how to sort of
Readdress it
and get my own back. I thought they're not having another downwards fall out of me. And so it was my intention that day, if I got the ball, was to go to Sturston.
Yeah, fair enough. And you've always played upwards ever since.
Yeah, there's a couple of times where I've helped downwards to score, but that was natural in our...
Who can you remember of them?
Harry haircut. I carried the ball quite a distance, but I was far outnumbered by downwards. I think I was about the only uppers there. And the one that Ian Bates scored, I took down to Clifton because I wanted Robin Gallimore
Oh, yeah.
to score it. But he made a mess of it. He got within a yard of the post and dropped it out of his coat.
Oh.
And so that's when Ian Bates got the ball and scored it.
Brilliant.
So before you goaled your ball, did you have any other opportunities to score one before you did?
Possibly, I was with Ray Storer when he scored his second one, and I suppose if I was very young, but if I'd have pressurised the subject, I'm sure Ray would have considered that I could have it because he's already scored one. So.
And if you had the opportunity when you played to score a second one, would you?
I've had really 3 other really good opportunities, and I've always said no. The one that stands out is in 1975, the Brian Clough ball. I got it at the Royal Oak at Mayfield, ended up lying in the river with it until everybody had disappeared, and then went on the long trek up to Sturston. But it was in my mind that there was a gentleman who always blocked the entrance to the mill, and it had been my thoughts how to get rid of him was to let him score a ball. And when we got to Sturston, yes, he was down in his usual spot blocking and we sort of tempted him out, and I could have then gone in, but I thought, no, for the sake of one ball, I'll let him have it. So I handed it over and he scored, and he never was seen at Sturston again. So really it was a benefit to other players in latter years that he wasn't obstructing the passageway.
Yeah. So about 1975, and let's talk about that. Do you remember? So can you tell us about the day that Brian Clough turned it up?
Yeah, he brought a lot of publicity with him, which in my mind was not a good thing, really. In the end, he didn't do the game any good because he was quite, if you like, nasty about it, and nasty about the people who actually played it. But we went through a time where the committee seemed to court publicity, which I thought was not good. And they eventually realised that too many people were coming in from outside in the buses and things like that, and sort of stopped the publicity altogether, or tried to. But yeah, the likes of Mr. Clough, great football manager, but I don't think he did anything for Shrove Tide.
No.
So, Doug, obviously looking at your lovely ball that you hold in here, I take it that this is how you got it back after it was played.
Yeah, this is exactly how I got it back. It didn't hit the floor when it was thrown up. Like I say, it went straight over to the fish pond meadow, and nobody had sort of dropped it, passed it, kicked it, or anything like that.
And painted by the good old Arthur Chadwick would have painted that. And that's probably in fact, it's probably one of the only ones I've ever seen of Arthur's artwork that still survives to this day.
Yeah, I never bothered to have anything done at it. I was quite happy that it was in this condition, and it stood another 53 years like this.
Yes, we played the year before I was born.
That makes me feel old.
Makes me feel old and older.
What I like about about how it's come back as well is Arthur used to use acrylic, and acrylic comes off easy if it's being battered, but obviously that one didn't get battered.
No.
So
no.
that's I found that incredible.
Did it have no kicking, Doug?
No kicking whatsoever. It was in people's hands all the time. I mean, even when it went in the river, it didn't really get loose. And so, yeah, I was very...
And who owns that ball today?
It's kept by my daughter at the moment. I decided some years ago that she could keep it. And whenever I want it, I go up and fetch it.
Brilliant.
And
do you display it in Ashbourne over Shrove Tide?
No. Many years ago, I did allow one of the pubs to have it, and then it took me 3 months to get it back.
Oh, not good.
So I thought, no, not for me.
So, looking back to your playing days, and we're asking everybody who does these podcasts, aren't we, Archie? This,
yeah.
Who would you say? You can pick more than one, but one if you can. Who was the best player you played with, and the best player you played against?
The best player in the early days was probably Frank Lomas.
We've had him already, haven't we?
Very strong and fit. Mm-hmm. When he was a farmer, so
nice bloke too.
Very active. And we basically played together. I mean, in the later years, in the 80s, when I was still playing, probably Mick Wright.
Had him too.
Very good runner and very good organiser. So I think with the Downers, it would be John Tompkinson or Seth Challoner. Mm-hmm. I mean, John Tompkinson was a fierce competitor.
Really?
I played football with him as well, and he took no prisoners.
I think the name Seth Challoner should be worth of mention, isn't it? Because he's sadly no longer with us.
No.
A phenomenal player. I mean, everybody... My dad always said if he ever went to Shrove Tide with Seth just to watch, he could predict exactly what was going to happen. Even though it's impossible, he said Seth had this knack of predicting what would happen next, and 9 times out of 10 he was right.
Yeah, I mean, we used to play in the streets a lot late on, and with half an hour to go, Seth would come up to me and say, "I'm going to lose it, be ready." And he'd go in to the hug, and
just as calmly as that.
Yeah, 2 minutes later, the ball would be out and being kicked either one way or the other.
Amazing.
Because we always, when we played, considered it a 50-50 chance. It would either go one way or the other, so you may as well take the chance. And that's how we played it. And Seth, like you say, when he said he was going to get it, he got it.
Oh yeah, I've heard a lot of that.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be brilliant to have Seth on one of these, wouldn't it, really? Let's be fair.
Oh, yes.
What a shame.
You'd have some stories to tell.
Yeah.
I was just wanted to ask your opinion on something, actually. How do you think the game has changed through the years?
Oh, it's changed tremendously, mainly because of the crowds that we now get. We used to play a very open game, but I mean, there was probably only 30 or 40 in the hog, and if it went in the river, there was probably 10, 20 in the early 70s. But now you see, well, you can't even get near the hog. There's probably 500 people pushing. And I do think nowadays that players are possibly scared that they're going to lose control of it and won't let it go, whereas we would deliberately let it go. But nowadays, they hang on to it. And I think a lot of the excitement's gone with the way they play nowadays.
Yeah.
What do you think, Doug? Do you think we've lost that open play that we used to? It was just thrown up and down the river. There's a lot more people if it goes in the river now, isn't there? There's a lot more in the water.
Oh, yes, there's a tremendous amount getting in the water now. But, I mean, in my early years, when the ball was in town, we would chuck it and kick it about, if you like, knowing that it wouldn't go anywhere. It'd go up to the corner house, then back up to the plough, and the spectators were entertained, if you like.
I agree.
And my worry now is the spectators are not being entertained.
So did you specifically in those days when you did that, were you guys and you involved with that, were you throwing it about purposely to entertain people?
Well, yes, because the game relies on the spectators, really. When they lose interest, then the game's virtually gone.
I think that's what, as a spectator myself, and that's one of the most considerate statements I've ever heard made about Shrove Tide, that a player would think about the people watching as opposed to just the players.
Yeah, I mean, there was many of us thought in that way. I mean, even Seth thought that...
well, Doug, that's why you're one of our legends, mate.
The spectators should be entertained. But I don't think they think like that anymore.
No. It's too competitive, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, far too competitive. I mean, they wouldn't think of helping each other now down and upwards, whereas we would.
So you would help a downer to score, which you've said you had anyway.
Yeah, they deserve a ball just as much as we do. We play hard, they play hard. And there's plenty of their players that deserve a ball. I mean, it's remarkable that Philip Tomlinson never scored.
No.
I mean, he was one hell of a player. Great big hands like shovels, that you couldn't get the ball off him, but for some reason, he never got the honour.
No, it was very sad. Philip was a great player.
He was.
So in that case then, do you reckon Shrove Tide has a good future or not?
The big worry is the housing situation, where the houses are now being built.
I agree. Yeah.
And the town is getting enclosed. I mean, all this modernisation of Ashbourne in the last few months has been done. And are they really don't want it damaging? And that worries me as well.
Yeah, it is a worry. It is a worry, yeah.
There's houses coming up everywhere. And with that, people coming from the outside who buy them, who don't know Shrove Tide, and would probably kick up an almighty fuss if something happened to their garden or car or whatever. Whereas years ago, we accepted it. If the hug came in the garden, well, somebody will put it right, carry on.
Well, think about in 1960 when the ball went into Woolworths. Everyone thought they were going to complain, and they never did.
No. Luckily, one of the managers in there was an Ashton lad, so the only thing that suffered that day was the pick a mix, because the players went through.
Ernie Grant said that, didn't he? Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Doug, if you're Doug Souter today, Shrove Tide player, ex-Shrove Tide player to a degree and all that, if you could go back to your 15-year-old self and tell yourself one thing about Shrove Tide and how to play or to change, what would you say?
Probably to be a bit more forgiving and let the ball do the talking.
Very good.
To finish off, do you have any good stories of your playing?
Yeah, I remember an instant, 1989 actually, when Bill Ratcliffe scored the ball at Sturston. The play was near the wheel, and I thought, I'll just nip to the coach for half a pint while it's there. I wasn't very long, but I came back, and all the crowds were down at the bottom end near the station hotel. When I got to the entrance of the bus station, looked down, and there was a ball just sitting there. So I sort of jumped on it and hid it under my legs and thinking, now what do I do next? And out of the corner of my eye, I saw McWright. And by this time, people were sort of trying to get me up and saying, come on, what's the matter? And I said, oh, my knees are... I've dropped on my knees and I just want 2 minutes just to get my breath back. And then I saw Mick sort of going past me out of the back of me, so all of a sudden I grabbed hold of the ball, jumped up and went up towards the corner house. Nobody really there except Mick Wright, who was running on the opposite side of the road. And I thought, well, Mick can get away with this. So I chucked it in to Mick, and he carried on up the marketplace, up the channel, over into where Seven Arches used to be. And some of his mates, I think, caught up with him. And off they went to Sturston and handed it over to Bill Ratcliffe to score. And I'll always remember that, how a ball can sit in the middle of the road, folk can basically walk over it and not notice it.
Amazing.
But the papers, when they reported it, put that it was a Doug starting that had
Got your name wrong.
yeah, probably because I wasn't on very good terms with the paper at that time, but that's what happened. And
Right.
you read it in all the books that it was Doug Starting who got the ball there and sort of sat on it before running off with it, but no, it was me. So yeah, something I'll always remember.
So do you want to just show your ball to the camera, Doug, and let's have a look at the ball that you goaled? Which, incidentally, for all those who know about these things, was actually made by Jack Smith in the 60s, believe it or not, but it was used in 1972. So the camera's there, Doug, as Archie and I always say, what message would you give to the people of Ashbourne and the Shrove Tiders of today?
To persevere with the game. It's a tradition that is probably only really happening in Ashbourne. We need to keep it as long as possible. So I want everybody to play their part in making sure that we play next year and the year after, and it goes on like that. And to really consider your actions when you're playing the game.
Brilliant. So, ladies and gentlemen, this has been Archie and Tim. This is the legend that is Doug Souter. See you next time.
See you in the next one.
There's a town still plays this glorious game, though 'tis but a little spot, and year by year the contest fought from the field that's called Shawcroft. Then friend meets friend in friendly strife, the leather fort again, and they play the game right manfully in snow, sunshine,